There is life 500 meters below the entire ice sheet of Antarctica, where sunlight never reaches. In that world of perpetual darkness, some isolated small creatures have survived for thousands of years. Here, the entire ice sheet extends to a depth of about 5 kilometers. From above, it looks like a white empty desert, lifeless and silent. But under that white surface are hidden all the miraculous things. Mysterious river flowing in the opposite direction, a river wider than the city. Active volcanoes and hidden millions of years old air bubbles of the Earth locked in the largest freshwater reservoir. And now, powerful countries are vying to take control of this reservoir. China is building new permanent bases, and Russia is conducting geological surveys. But what is under the ice that everyone is so desperate for? What are they really looking for? To find the answer to that question, today we have to descend into the mysterious depths of Antarctica's ice. Antarctica is the 5th largest continent in the world by area. Even if the entire United States and Mexico were combined, it would not be equal to it. About 70% of the world's fresh water is contained in the ice sheet of this continent, which is so thick that one could cover the Alps of Europe under it. It is the coldest, driest, and windiest region in the world. In winter, the sun doesn't rise for months. Temperatures can drop to minus 90 degrees Celsius, and strong storms can blow everything away. Yet so much. Even in the harsh environment, life has not stopped there. Penguins and seals live in groups on the ice-covered shores. All kinds of fish roam the seabed. Even small creatures like microorganisms and shrimp somehow survive in the deep, dark waters of the ice. Yes, nature, in its own way, has spread life everywhere. The ice of Antarctica is actually a vast library of time. Every year, snow falls here incessantly and accumulates layer by layer under its own weight, just like the annual rings of a tree trunk. Each layer of ice is a silent history of a year, and tiny air bubbles are trapped in that layer. This holds a sample of the air that year. Thus, under the ice of Antarctica, prehistoric details of the Earth's climate from the ancient atmosphere are hidden. Scientists drilled down several kilometers to along. They brought out a block of ice, at the bottom of which the air from about 1.2 million years ago is also trapped. From this information, music, it is known when the Sahara Desert was a green forest, when mammoths roamed the Earth, and through this it is possible to know the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere at that time. It was half the size it is today. Ice never forgets anything. What I have said so far is only the upper part of this continent. If we go deeper, Antarctica will open up to us a more global secret chapter. There are worlds hidden in the heart of Antarctica that are beyond human imagination. Beneath the ice lies a whole world of water. Deep in Antarctica, thousands of hidden rivers and lakes are spread out like a web. Some are larger than cities. They have survived without sunlight for millions of years. Suddenly, all the water in the river changes course and flows rapidly elsewhere, creating a vast expanse of ice. The ice rises up to several meters. It is as if something has moved inside the ice. Sometimes this hidden world reveals itself through the ice. For example, the mysterious dark red waterfall that flows out of the Teller Glacier is called Blood Falls. At first glance, it seemed like it was coming out of a body of ice. It's like blood is flowing. Later, scientists realized that this is actually ancient salt water trapped hundreds of meters below the ice. It contains a lot of iron. As it cuts through the ice and rises, the air comes in contact with the iron and oxidizes, turning the water red and purple. And this, the red waterfall, proves that the nutrient-rich waters under the ice reach the ocean and circulate throughout the environment. For example, the iron and nutrients in that water nourish tiny algae in the ocean. Countless krill, or shrimp, live by eating that algae, and krill depend on the world's largest animal, the blue whale, survives. Once, blue whales were almost extinct in Antarctic waters due to constant human hunting. Today, they are slowly reviving. But how they can survive in the changing ocean is still a mystery. Now let's dive deeper. Far below the ice lies a vast basin called the iceberg, which has been frozen in ice for millions of years without sunlight. Scientists believe that its waters could support life that has never been seen anywhere else on Earth. In addition to the iceberg, there are more than 700 glaciers beneath Antarctica. There are lakes at the bottom, and scientists have already found traces of microbes and microorganisms by drilling into a few. Even tiny shrimp-like creatures that swim in the dark water far from sunlight have been found in the locked samples taken from the bottom of the ice. All of this shows how deep and hostile life can be. Scientists believe that life could exist beneath the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Now we have reached the actual land of Antarctica. The real land of Antarctica has been removed. Let's explore. Because it is covered in snow, it was not known until now that there are huge mountains and valleys below it, which are breathtaking views. The gambers of the mountains are as high as the Alps in Europe. Denman Canyon is the deepest canyon in the world, about 3.5 kilometers deep, but it is entirely hidden behind the ice. A series of dormant volcanoes have been discovered in the western part under the ice, which do not erupt, but are constantly melting the ice from below. Fossils found in rock layers indicate that this icy country was once a green land for millions of years. When Antarctica was part of the Gondwana continent, it was home to dense forests, rivers, and animals. Over time, the continent drifted toward the South Pole and was covered in ice. But traces of that lost world remain in the fossil record and soil. This is Antarctica is an invisible treasure trove, for which the world's powerful countries are now trying to strategically position themselves. Because geologists believe that beneath Antarctica, there may be reserves of coal, oil, gas, and rare minerals as abundant as in South America, Africa, and Australia, which could be worth trillions of dollars. But now, these resources are sleeping in eternal ice. Because in the 1959 agreement, Antarctica was made an area dedicated only to peace and scientific research. Mining or military activities are still prohibited here. However, in 2048, there will be an opportunity to review the agreement. If the sanctions are lifted, then a new competition for resources will begin in the ice sheet. But even then, Russia is already conducting geological surveys and searching for oil and gas. China is increasing its presence by building new stations, and the activities of countries like the United States have decreased a lot as they have occupied other countries. And with this opportunity, the balance of influence in Antarctica is gradually shifting towards China and Russia. But the environment of Antarctica is very sensitive, because the ice, the sea, and the wildlife are so intertwined here that if you hit one, the rest are thrown away. The balance that has been built over millions of years in the game of greed can be broken in a few decades, although this continent has remained peaceful for 7 years due to the agreement. But 2048 is not far away, and then the future of this Antarctica will be decided.